All right, good morning. It's Friday morning. We're live. Darren Freedom Green doing another special interview. My little brother, Big Ooh, is in the building. What's good, bro? You know the format. Introduce yourself to him. Let him know who you are.
Good morning. It's Big Ooh, Trent recording artist. Here with my brother Darren Freedom Green, Trentonian.com.
All right. Now you're going to act shy today. This guy's crazy. Well, you know what we're talking about. It's a big venue tonight down in AC, Atlantic City. You definitely are opening up major. One of Trenton's finest doing the damn thing. He's going to be opening up tonight for Rick Ross. Everyone in the town is excited. We're definitely going to be in the building. Tell him a little bit, bro. How you feel about that?
I'm excited. We're getting ready to open up tonight, Boardwalk Hall in AC.
Mm-hmm.
We got about 300 to 400 T-shirts coming up. The whole city is excited. The momentum is crazy right now. They're calling me for the T-shirts right now as we speak.
Early.
Yeah. So,
Early.
I mean, it's a great thing. You know, it's a lot of negativity surrounding the area, so they finally get a positive moment to embrace one of their own, to get behind one of their own.
No doubt.
Somebody they seen do it over the last 10 to 15 years.
No doubt.
From the ground up. So
no doubt.
thing.
No doubt. So definitely with putting Trenton on the map, how does that make you feel, bro? There have been a lot of Trenton artists to come out the gate and been talented. But I've said, and I was talking to you, and I talk to you all the time about it, they come from 7.5 square miles. It's a small place, small geographical area, sometimes producing small mindsets. What's your vision to be the first one to come through here and really wake this city up and then move with a purpose, a mission, and a goal to do something sustainable?
Well, you know what me and DeShare did last year was a Trenton Entertainment Summit, and our whole thing was about Trenton going global.
No doubt.
So, you know, at the end of the day, my thing is, like me, you talk all the time, you know, what starts here, when done right, doesn't end here.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So basically what starts local at the end of the day should go global when it's done right.
That's right. That's right.
Always the mindset. I mean, we embrace what our area, and of course we try to build our following here because it's the home base, but we know this is only a dot, like you said.
That's right.
On a big world out there.
That's right.
You know, so it's always, the stakes is always a lot higher, and we know at the end of the day, we gotta attain the masses.
That's right. All right, let's go into it a little bit now. Ultimately, I see a lot of artists come through, and they've had talent, they've had skills, they've had abilities, but they've lacked the machine. You seem to have popped on the scene now on a larger venue, based off from the block to the boardroom, a mindset and a movement. Talk a little bit about that.
You know, from the block to the boardroom. Shout out to Tracy D. Side Facts. That whole movement, like I always say, and I said it time and time again, it was cross marketing on a small scale.
That's right.
Tracy Side Facts has a following, a different following from mine, and I have a following. So what we did by us two standing together and embracing both of our movements, it just, you know, it benefited all parties involved. So from the block to the boardroom movement, definitely just opened my mindset to a lot of other things, a lot of other aspects. That's what I tell a lot of people. It's bigger than how it appears. And
that's
when people see me with you, knowing that we all come from the same areas, and they see me clean up in the video with the suit on, they understand that, you know, sometimes you got to change your appearance and change the way you speak and change the way you look.
No doubt.
To be taken serious.
That's right. That's right. And I respect that. And one of the things I love about Ooh is he's young, but he has an old mindset in terms of he listens and appreciates wisdom when it comes to him from whatever source. Because if you're standing still and somebody else is running, you can't tell them about motion. You need to be able to learn how they're moving and watch it. And if you're not doing it, then you need to be quiet and be able to learn and appreciate and emulate that. One of the young people I teach, in the school system, I let them hear the soundtrack. And one of the first things she said to me was, she's like, Free, that was really amazing. He didn't use the N-word. He didn't call nobody the B-word. Talk a little bit about the transition of going from the hood or from the block to the boardroom in terms of a mindset and what you're looking to teach through your music.
I mean, even with using it from the block to the boardroom record as an example, going back to what I said, being that I know Tracy has a following, he has a reputation as well as you, as well as everybody involved to sustain and hold up. I wouldn't even approach a situation where I would do anything that would stain what you guys been building.
No doubt.
So, I mean, common sense told me we're going to keep this the way we need to keep it. We kept it clean, but it was still, it fit every scene that we go to.
No doubt.
It could be played wherever, any setting.
No doubt.
So, I mean, from the block to the boardroom was just about, at the end of the day, you know, where we come from, the things we go through in life, it doesn't have to keep us there.
That's right.
You know, we aim for it, work hard for it, we can go get it.
That's right. We was hanging out a little bit yesterday in the barbershop, Razor Sharp from the Heart.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk a little bit about Bill, Great, and the crew, and their influence and impact on you and what you're doing and how you're growing as a young man into an older gentleman and distinguished in a rap field where there's often a lot of sagging pants and the hoodlum mentality.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the rah, rah, rah. And it's a breath of fresh air to see you come through and be able to move that transition where you can be in the streets but not of the streets. Talk about Razor Sharp and their influence.
One thing about Razor Sharp and the barbershop and the whole barbershop setting, it's a family.
No doubt.
And when you're wrong, they're going to call you out on it.
That's right.
You know, so a lot of times, you know, people, you know, when we go in there, man, it's not about Big O. It's not about none of that. It's just, it's family because they watch me come up.
No doubt.
They've been cutting for the last 15 years.
No doubt. No doubt.
They watch me come up, you know. At the end of the day, going back to what you said about, you know, like the rap entertainment, a lot of these dudes are faking for it. You know what I mean? And that's the honest to God's honest truth. A lot of these dudes are dressed up and they're not who they're portraying to be.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when you really come from somewhere and you've really been through situations, I don't have to tell you that.
That's right.
It speaks for itself. It speaks volumes already.
No doubt.
So, you know, people should already know.
That's right. Your work will speak for it. No doubt. Okay, since you mentioned the word family, let's talk about somebody who we both are tight with. You of course, always tighter with than me. Your dad. Talk a little bit about your dad, and I'm just getting to meet him now.
Yeah.
You know, in this movement, and he's an integral part of what's going on. Certainly one of your biggest fans. Talk a little bit about your dad and his importance and how he shaped and molded you in terms of moving through your career, and as a young man again transitioning into being manhood.
You know, one thing my dad always taught me, man.
Yeah, somebody else.
You know, I would go to my dad's house when I was young on the weekend a lot of times.
No doubt.
You know, I was, you know, just young and getting in a lot of trouble and stuff. My mom would send me up there Friday to Sunday.
Okay.
You know, a lot of things he instilled in me then, I didn't really grasp. But now I kind of like, you know.
No doubt.
I got it, even just from the music.
No doubt.
From certain just mannerisms.
Okay.
You know, and that stuff is important.
It is important.
It has to be embedded early. You know, sometimes we don't gravitate to it then, but as we grow older and go through different things, we say it all starts to make sense.
No doubt.
You know, so it definitely played a part.
Okay.
And who I am, I tilt my hat to him.
Okay, no doubt. Respect. We were talking earlier, for instance, Jay-Z. He definitely can touch and move the streets from his vernacular, from his language, from his mannerisms, but he can also go into boardrooms and talk and share conversations with Warren Buffett. Is that something you would look to do, and what would it take Big O to be able to transition and be able to do like Jay has? Because Jay is a mogul. He's not just somebody of the streets, and clearly education played a big part in him being able to make that transition from the block to the boardroom, but be able to come back to the block and through his lyrics be able to change mindsets. Is that something you think Big O can do?
I think basically with Jay-Z, and I watch everything from the business aspect to the musical aspect of what he's doing. And I touched on that in the last record. We've been having to get played with Fifth Ave Boys and Mike Molest with the No Church in the Wild on Power 99.
Okay.
And one of the lines I said was, "Young mogul, Trenton going global." If people understand and really watch what I'm doing and really see the pieces of it, you'll see, like, I'm not as stupid as you think I am. You know, I'm putting a lot of plays together just from being one of the first artists to get played on Power 99.
No doubt.
Since 2009.
No doubt.
You know, breaking into a Philadelphia market coming from Trenton.
No doubt.
Working with every artist in Philly almost.
No doubt.
You know, from Beanie Siegel to Meek Mill to Gilly the Kid. You know, so I'm playing chess, Free.
No doubt.
You know,
no doubt. I see it.
You play dumb. You play dumb, but I'm not as dumb as they think I am.
Okay. Okay. And that's peace, bro. And definitely shout out to Cosmic Kev for always giving you a venue. And again, let's close out with just talking about Big O is like a breath of fresh air. But there have been a lot of Trenton artists coming through, doing their thing, been hot for a moment, did their thing. What is it that's going to allow Big O to come through and be different and be able to go to that next level? We've had a few rappers come through. We've had a few artists come through. And it seems like they never can outgrow the small city mindset. And they seem to want to stay caught up in the hood. What is Ooh going to do to make that next step?
I think, honestly, Free, first and foremost, I pay homage to everybody that came before me.
No doubt.
Because they paved the way for me to be sitting here with you.
No doubt.
From everything they've done. The truth of the matter is, sometimes you got to step outside your comfort zone. And you got to go to where the industry is. And like it goes back to what I said. We started here.
That's
we
right.
built a following here. But sometimes we got to leave and we got to play amongst the stars and play amongst the movers and the shakers, so to speak.
That's right.
And then come back and have an impact.
That's right.
With the power that we attain, so quote unquote star quality.
That's right.
And then come back and say, this is where I'm from and this is what I'm doing for my community.
No doubt.
And this is what I'm doing for my city. Because right now, to the people, it doesn't matter because you're looked upon as a nobody.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I like that.
So
I like that.
I definitely want to. I got plans to really step outside and start moving around, and as things grow, it's one day at a time.
No doubt, no doubt. So let's wrap it up with 3 years from now. It seems you're the hot topic right now. People are definitely on your heels. People are definitely going to be looking to grab on and get a part of the movement. What is Ooh going to do so it's just not a hot moment in the sun, and then people are going to have to understand that, hey, this guy really cared about us. He came back and brought something good to the young people in the city. He was inspiring them to be better than who they are, to clean themselves up, to educate themselves, to work and be viable components. What is Ooh going to do so 3 years from now, you're really making an impact to make Trenton not trashy, but classy?
I mean, one of the things I want to do is definitely get more involved with the teens, the kids.
No doubt.
But, it all goes back to just getting myself in position to the point where it not only does it matter, but I could pull in my resources and pull together and just make the picture bigger.
No doubt. And
just show the kids that, man, we can make it from here.
No doubt.
We could do certain things from here. Like they have to see somebody come from here and be successful. Like, like it's some more. I can't forget some more.
No doubt. No doubt.
We talk all the time. Man, just to be able to see some more come from here and do what she's doing.
That's right.
We gotta show the kids that you can do it. You just gotta work hard and you gotta
play the video.
Okay.
So
I don't want you guys just to stay here.
All right. I definitely want to do something, and you're gonna be a major part of that.
No doubt.
So
no doubt.
We're gonna definitely put something together.
All right, we're gonna play the video from the block to the boardroom, and we're gonna just take a look at that.
Tracy, thanks a lot for sitting down and talking about us.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
I suppose the first thing we should do is life hasn't always been a cruise on the highway for you, and you've got a book coming out a little bit about that. It's kind of part of your motivational speaking. You want to talk a little bit about that?
From the block to the boardroom, I've been right where you are. From the block to the boardroom, if only you believe. For the same world you're living in, you gotta pay to win.
Yeah, stepping out on faith and never thinking twice. Sleepless nights, major sacrifice in order to get it right. Cause I did it wrong for too long. My belief in God kept my spirit strong. Head to the sky, both feet planted. If you've never been through it, you never understand it. My second time walking out them prison gates, I took a vow that whatever it takes, I provide. Use skills acquired on the inside, on the outside. I lost a brother to these streets. At a time I could have slipped through the cracks, I chose to reach for the stars and God's sky. I too know hard times. Coming from the projects, no struggle, no progress. Life comes to a turning point, and I just pulled up at the crossroads. How we made it this far, baby, only the Lord knows. Man.
I've been right where you are. From the block to the boardroom, if only you believe. For the same world you're living in, you gotta pay to win.
Yeah. 3-piece suit, tailor-made, razor sharp fade in a privileged position. Giving all praise, let the glory be to God. As we defy the odds, 100 miles and running. Now look what we're becoming. Black business owners coming from the corners where it's destined that we fail. To see one of us prevail opens the eyes wide of those like me standing on the other side. It makes me put it in drive and apply gas towards a plan that'll last. Headed in the right direction, doing the dash. Switching gears, the road ahead is clear. Coming from here, the entrepreneur of the year. Looking the part, dressing the part. Casket sharp, always speaking from the heart. A rose sprouts out the sidewalk beautifully. Got hard work and opportunity.
From the block to the boardroom,
Man.
I've been right where you are. From the block to the boardroom, if only you believe. From the same world you're living in, you gotta play to win. From the block to the boardroom, yeah.
Yes. The title of the book is From the Block to the Boardroom, and it's basically a story of my life and how I came up. I came up in the 70s and the 80s in Trenton. A lot of times, especially during the early 80s, when the crack epidemic hit the city of Trenton, was involved with a lot of drugs and selling drugs and running drugs.
All right. Once again, from the block to the boardroom. That's a powerful video, bro. I get amped up every time I see it. So let's close out with that video. Speaks to a lot of young people in this city, really anybody, and it's a mindset in motion where it's people, an opportunity presenting itself, you taking your skill set, maximizing that opportunity, then aligning yourself with the right people, networking to be able to build better and be bigger. But in doing so, you have to leave a lot of that old stuff behind, because the block can't be a part of the boardroom. The mentality, the hustling mentality, but once you move and transition into that new reality, the old has to be left behind.
Definitely.
Tell some of the young people what's allowing Ooh to take to that next level and how you got to separate yourself from people, places, and things that might become dead weight or barriers in your progress.
I mean, sometimes, people that we grew up with, childhood friends, we love them dearly. You know, they got a place in our heart, but we got to let them go.
That's right.
Certain places, you can't do the same things when you be seen in a certain light. And like I said, it all goes back to, I can't come into what you guys got going on and stay in the movement and everything that you guys been building over the years.
No doubt.
And sometimes you gotta let go and start over. And ever since I've been from the block to the boardroom, we've been doing everything we're doing. Everything has just been lining up.
No doubt.
I'm doing it right.
No doubt.
I'm doing it the right way, and when you're doing it the right way, it gets rewarded.
No doubt. No doubt. And that's important. I guess we can wrap up by saying, tonight is going to be epic. You know what I mean? You open it up again for Rick Ross. We want the city to come out, stand up, support. He's got the T-shirts, hit him up. We need to be in there. We need to be in and be able to impact that place and let them know Trenton is in the building. Definitely. One of the biggest things I love about Joey giving me the opportunity to do the show is to get Trentonians to support each other.
Definitely.
Stop sitting in the cubby hole hating on each other because their name isn't on the flyer. They ain't at the forefront. At the end of the day, when somebody said that guy's from Trenton, that young lady's from Trenton, it represents all of us. So we either support each other or we're going to die in our own iniquity together. Give a couple shout outs and let them know what you want. What Big Oo's feeling right about now?
I want to shout out Trentonian.com. Appreciate y'all having me.
No doubt.
I want to shout out the Fifth Ave Boys, Mike Molest, everybody coming out tonight. Razor Sharp Barbershop, from the block to the boardroom. New Day Co-op team, y'all. We working free. The model doesn't change.
No doubt.
Boardwalk Hall tonight. This is history.
No doubt.
So
we'll be talking about it.
We're going to do what we got to do.
Okay.
Appreciate you having me.
No doubt. So we want to shout out Big O and thanks Trentonian.com. We want everybody to tune in and come out tonight down to AC and support Big O. My little brother, man, he's doing big things, and certainly he can't save the city. But he can definitely show you what salvation look like by applying your skill set to be better. Just do your part, and it'll get a little bit better by every day. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.